Kia ora, and welcome to the CoreLogic Property Market Update for Haratua, May 2024. Brought to you by Loan Market. The momentum gained in the Aotearoa property market at the end of 2023 looks to have very much subsided as constrained demand continues to come up against plentiful supply. Nationwide, property values effectively tracked sideways in April, technically falling 0.1%, with a more pronounced weakness visible in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, where values declined 0.6%. Compared to a year ago, Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland property values are down 1.8%, and the average value remains more than 15% below the previous peak of the market, which was a staggering $1.5 million at the start of 2022. As expected, this road of recovery is going to be somewhat of a grind. What wasn't expected was for conditions to be lackluster in our largest city. With strong population growth, mostly due to the high number of migrants moving to and looking for a rental in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, and improved investor regulations, it was expected the city of sales would lead the recovery. Perhaps this goes to show just how much of a constraint stretched affordability is, with interest rates holding at such a contractionary level. Across the other main centres, value change was a little inconsistent, with both Tauranga and Ōtautahi Christchurch mirroring the nationwide change of negative 0.1%. While Ōtepoti Dunedin stood out with 0.7% growth over the month of April. Over the longer term, the average value in Ōtautahi Christchurch is only 2.7% shy of the recent peak of $780,000. From a sales transaction perspective, we're largely seeing a more active market now when compared to a year ago. In almost all the main centres, sales volumes in the past 3 months are up at least 13%, with Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington, standing out at 22% higher. On the flip side, the Kirikiriroa Hamilton market remains relatively quiet, with volumes down 1.6% year on year, and noticeably down on the decade-long average. In Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington's case, the annual rise is off an all-time low levels experienced last year. In terms of who's buying, there's been no great change in the mix of who's been successful lately, though you could make a case to say there are hints of movers coming back out of the woodwork. 27% of sales in April went to this group. Perhaps the lift in available properties has given them confidence to properly explore their next step on the property ladder. Speaking of which, the plentiful availability of properties listed for sale will certainly be a contributing factor to the underwhelming growth right now. There's no effective pressure on prospective buyers out there, so they're taking their time and waiting for the right property and price to become available. Certainly, first home buyers have recently been getting more bang for their buck, sneaking in with lower prices and getting a relatively higher share of standalone houses. For sale listings are now likely to fall away as we approach and go through winter, so all eyes will be on what happens come spring. Given the sluggish economy, creeping job losses and pressure on household budgets, many will be hoping for some favourable news when it comes to interest rates. But if anything, recent data releases have shifted expectations to a later fall in the OCR, probably February 2025 at the earliest. This data includes the monthly partial release of some inflationary items, such as food, which rose in April. Rental growth is slowing, but it still remains above average. The Reserve Bank's call, commentary, and forecasts of the OCR will remain a key feature of the property market for the foreseeable future, not to mention the finalised plans for the debt-to-income restrictions, which we should get confirmation of any time now. Once we do, and to stay on top of all the latest economic and housing market insights, be sure to follow our news updates on the CoreLogic NZ social channels, including LinkedIn, Instagram, X or Facebook. Don't forget to download our latest monthly chart pack and subscribe to the New Zealand Property Market Podcast on all good podcast players. Mā te wā.